My name is Elena. And for the first 25 years of my life, I was a princess. My father, Arthur Vance, was a self-made billionaire, but more than that, he was a philanthropist. The Vance Foundation was his heart and soul. I was being trained to take it over. My mother passed away when I was young. 2 years ago, my father married Alice, a woman only 10 years older than me. She was graceful, beautiful, and seemed to make him happy. Around the same time, I met Mark. He was a charming, ambitious venture capitalist who swept me off my feet. We were engaged. Life was perfect. Then, 6 months ago, my father died. The doctors said it was a sudden, massive heart attack. I was devastated. I couldn't function. I was a ghost, wandering the halls of our estate. Alice and Mark were rocks. "We'll handle everything, my love," Mark would whisper, holding me as I cried. "You just rest. You just grieve." That's where the nightmare began. The grieving turned into concern. "Elena, darling," Alice would say softly, "you haven't eaten in 2 days. You told the maid you saw your father in the garden." I thought I did," I'd murmur. "Mark, I'm worried about her," she'd say, just loud enough for me to hear. It started small. Mark would tell me we had a dinner reservation, and when I'd get dressed, he'd look at me with pity. "Elena, I told you that was cancelled. You're forgetting things again. They hired a private nurse. Just to help you with your medication," Mark said. "They'd put me on heavy sedatives. For the anxiety, they called it." The day of the will reading, I was so groggy I could barely stand. The family lawyer, a man I'd known my whole life, read the document. It stated that my father left everything to me. However, a new addendum, signed just a month before his death, stipulated that in the event of my mental or physical incapacitation, full control of all assets and the foundation would pass to a joint trust managed by my stepmother, Alice, and my fiancé, Mark, until I was deemed competent by a medical professional. My head snapped up. What? What does incapacitation mean? Alice put her hand on mine. "It's okay, darling. It's just a formality." But then, Mark's lawyer, a man I'd never seen, stepped forward. Given Miss Vance's recent episodes, her delusions, and her reliance on medication, Mr. Jennings and Mrs. Vance have petitioned the court to enact this clause immediately, for her own protection. They had a file. A thick one. Signed statements from my nurse, saying I was a danger to myself. Notes from a psychiatrist I'd never met, diagnosing me with severe delusional disorder brought on by grief. They were having me declared insane. "No!" I shouted. "This is a lie. Mark! Tell them." Mark looked at the floor. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Elena, please, this is for your own good. We love you. We will take care of everything until you're well again." In 1 hour, I lost my home, my inheritance, and my sanity. I was escorted out of my own house. They gave me a generous stipend and a small apartment downtown. I was cut off from the foundation, from my father's company, from my entire life. For 3 months, I was a ghost. They were right about one thing, I was going crazy. I questioned my own memory. Did I see my father? Did Mark cancel that dinner? The world saw them as saints. The grieving widow and the loyal fiancé, stepping up to save the Vance legacy from an unstable heiress. They were on magazine covers. Alice and Mark, the new power couple, running the foundation. I was cut off from everyone. My friends wouldn't take my calls. They'd all been told I was having a serious breakdown. One night, sitting on the floor of my empty apartment, I was going through the last box of my personal items the estate had sent me. Old jewelry, college photos. And at the bottom, there was a small, velvet box. Inside wasn't a ring. It was a key. A simple, old-fashioned, skeleton key. I remembered. My 21st birthday. My father gave it to me. This, Lena, is more important than money. This is a key to the truth. Don't ever forget where you put it. He'd told me it was for a failsafe, a private safety deposit box at an independent bank downtown. A bank none of our family lawyers used. My heart was hammering so hard I thought it would break my ribs. The next day, my hands were shaking as I signed the ledger. The bank manager led me to a small, private room. He slotted the key, along with his own. He left me alone. The box was heavy. I opened it. There was no cash. No jewels. Just a simple, black, external hard drive. And a letter, in my father's handwriting. My hands trembled as I read it. My dearest Elena, if you are reading this, it means I am gone, and the worst has happened. I am not a fool. I know I am not sick. But I have been feeling weak. And I see how they look at me. Alice. And that boy, Mark. He is not who you think he is, my love. I hired a private investigator. They have been in a relationship for 3 years. Since before Alice even met me. They are thieves, Elena. They have been funneling money from the foundation for 6 months. I was building a case. Do not trust the will. Do not trust the doctors. They are all on Mark's payroll. They are trying to steal your legacy. Inside this box is my real will, notarized. And on this hard drive, is my proof. I love you. Be smart. Be brave. Avenge me. My tears weren't for grief. They were for rage. I plugged the hard drive into my laptop. It was a video diary. My father, sitting in his private study, looking pale, but his eyes were clear. It is October 10th, he said. I am of sound mind. I believe my wife, Alice Vance, and my daughter's fiancé, Mark Jennings, are conspiring against me. I believe they may be poisoning me. He had documented everything. The secret bank transfers. A recording of Mark threatening him. And his real, video-recorded final will, leaving 100% of his estate to me, and naming a separate, independent executor. They hadn't just framed me. They had killed him. I didn't go to the police. Not yet. They owned the local police. I needed to do this my father's way. Smart. And in public. I waited. For 2 months, I let them think I was a broken, defeated girl. I waited for the Vance Foundation annual charity gala. The biggest philanthropic event of the year. Alice and Mark were the hosts. This was their coronation. I got a job with the catering company for the event. Wait staff. Invisible. While they were greeting guests, I slipped away. I went to the AV booth. I'd spent a month learning the system for this building. I locked the door, bypassed the main console, and plugged my laptop directly into the central projector. The ballroom was packed. The mayor. Senators. The press. Alice and Mark took the stage to thunderous applause. It is my honor, Mark began, his voice smooth as silk, to continue the legacy of my great mentor, Arthur Vance. He trusted me. He trusted me, too, I said, my voice echoing through the sound system. I hit play. The giant screens above the stage flickered. Mark and Alice's smiling faces were replaced by my father's. He was in his study. My name is Arthur Vance. It is October 10th. I am of sound mind. And I believe my wife, Alice Vance, and my daughter's fiancé, Mark Jennings, are conspiring against me. I believe they may be poisoning me. The entire ballroom went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Alice let out a small, strangled scream. Turn it off. Mark yelled at the tech booth. But the door was locked. My father's face continued. The screen split, showing the bank transfers to their offshore accounts. They are thieves, Elena. They have been in a relationship for 3 years. The screen showed a photo from the PI Mark and Alice, kissing on a beach. A year before she met my father. The guests were gasping. People were standing up, their phones out, recording. This is slander. Mark shouted, his face purple. She's insane. Someone call security. She's mentally unstable. Am I? My voice, live this time. I walked out from the side of the stage, holding the microphone. Or did you just get caught? And as I said it, the main doors of the ballroom burst open. It wasn't security. It was the FBI. The real executor of my father's true will wasn't a local lawyer. It was the U.S. Attorney's Office. Mark Jennings, Alice Vance, the lead agent said, walking calmly to the stage. You are under arrest for conspiracy, wire fraud, and suspicion of homicide. Alice fainted. Mark just stared at me. The charm was gone. All that was left was pure, unadulterated hate. I just looked back at him. You forgot about the key, Mark. The trials were a sensation. The video diary was irrefutable. They were both found guilty. Mark got 40 years for fraud and conspiracy. Alice, for her cooperation, got 25. The homicide investigation is still ongoing. It took me a year to clean up the mess. To undo the fraud, to fire the corrupt doctors and lawyers. But I did it. Today, I am the CEO of the Vance Foundation. My father's real foundation. We're doing the work he wanted to do. My name is cleared. My father's name is honored. And his legacy is finally, truly, safe.